Hi, it's James Yule from Mediaglue back again, and today I'm going to talk to you about the fifth P from my 5 keys to website performance. Now, if you have not seen the previous video in this series, there's a little link just down here flashing across the bottom of this video. You can go there and see the video there. But the fifth P is pursue. Now, what I'm talking about here is that when your website works for you and people are filling out the contact form or calling you for additional information about your product, it's really very important that you understand how to convert that sales inquiry into a paying customer. And you know, in so many businesses, it just doesn't happen the way it should, with the result that your advertising actually ends up making money for your competitor. And we really don't want that. So what I want to talk to you about in this little program is a process that I've used and developed and taught to hundreds of people over many years. And there's an acronym which is TIPS. So the acronym is TIPS. So what I'm going to do is give you some sales tips. Okay. Now, nothing happens in business unless there is some degree of trust. And there are a lot of people who are marketing and have marketed for years programs called trust-based selling. But it doesn't stop at trust. So look, the first word in our acronym is here. So what we have to do, and it's not T-rust, it's trust. What we have to do here is that we have to look at how we establish trust with our potential buyer. Now, in our longer program, you'll learn a little bit more about this, and as I said, this is simply an introduction. Trust comes from who you are, the way you look, the professionalism of your website, the social proof, the testimonials, the case studies, the photographs of prior work that you've done. In other words, people need to see and understand that you are capable, and that when you speak, you're not speaking with a forked tongue. So step one is establish trust. And if you haven't got the trust, this is unlikely to go very much further. Now, again, please understand here that I'm not talking about sophisticated, high-end sales in the multinational company environment. I'm talking here about typical small business environment with products and services that are sold on an everyday basis, almost at a transactional level. The second step of this process is to identify the issue or the problem or the situation that the customer is in. So, for instance, there's no point in trying to sell something to somebody who isn't in the market, or to sell them the wrong thing. My late father was a medical practitioner, and he had this expression that he used that I ingrained on my memory, and he used to say that prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. And if you think about it, if you walked into the doctor's surgery and you sat down in front of the doctor and he looked at you and said, appendicitis, you need surgery, and he went and made the booking for an anaesthetist and surgery, and then he said, well, no, I've had hamburger with onions for lunch and the onions are repeating on me. Sorry about that, what are you here for? Well, it was about an ingrowing toenail, but you know what, it doesn't really matter, thank you very much. And so what happens is that people get an inquiry for their product or service and immediately start to sell it without identifying exactly what aspects of that product or service are relevant to the customer. You might, for instance, be selling a software suite that does a whole range of different services or different things in a process, and there could be one particular process of that product that is the thing that is the stumbling block in that customer's business. So by identifying what the issue is, why they called you, what the purpose of the inquiry was, you can then look to present the appropriate solution. And this is what P stands for. It's present an appropriate solution. So the way that you do that, in very simple terms, is to confirm with your buyer that the issues that are of concern to him, or the issues that you as the salesperson have identified, can be solved, rectified, improved, made cheaper, made easier by your solutions. So you discuss how that particular aspect of what you do identifies and addresses the problem to create the happy day environment that they're looking for. Now, I don't believe you can close the sale. I only believe that you can open a relationship, because it's only with trust that you can actually identify and investigate the situation that's happening in this customer's environment. So if you've done this properly, I believe there's really only one way that you can convert this into a purchase. Hopefully the customer is going to say, well, this is fantastic, I want this. But if they don't, what we need to do here is that we need to do one of two things. We either need to set a timeline by saying something like, well, Chris, it's fantastic that we've identified the issue and that you believe that what we've got is going to fix that for you. So tell me, when do you actually want to make this happen? What timeline do we need to work to? So the S in TIPS stands for set a timeline, or establish a sense of urgency by giving them some reason to act now rather than later. So there we have the acronym TIPS, T-I-P-S. You can find out more about this and look at some of the products and services we offer in this environment by visiting topsalesinternational.com. And that URL and the telephone number will appear on your screen in just a moment.